Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be trying on and doing a wear test of the Dose of Colors foundation and concealer. I also have a sponge that's in here that I purchased, and I've heard really good things about that sponge, so I'm really excited to try that as well today. So I want to get right into it because I've been waiting to purchase this foundation. It was on sale at Dose of Colors, and I can't remember if it was 50% off or 40%. But it was a really good deal. So I went ahead and purchased the concealer and the foundation for a discounted price. So as you guys know, I did have lash extensions, and as you can see, I have no eyelashes on today. So I've been kind of working with some lash strips that I can just put on my eyes. I've got several that I purchased from Walmart, so I've been trying those. I did purchase a couple too from CVS and Target. So anyway, I've been enjoying it. I've been loving putting on lashes, different kinds of lashes, and testing them out. What is weird to me is it looks like I have nothing. I do have really fine lashes there. You cannot see them. I mean, you have to really be up and close to actually see them, but they'll grow out eventually. And speaking of growing out, I have been using the New Lash. I purchased that during the Nordstrom sale, and I've been using that at night. But in a month, I'm excited to see what my lashes will look like. So anyway, let me get something to open this box because it is super sealed. So I was looking at my receipt, and I did pay half price. Wow. Oh, I got half price on everything. What? So they sent this card, and there's samples of the foundation here. And then on the back, they show like all the shades of the foundation. So I like that because in case this foundation doesn't work out, at least I have some others to like look at and kind of test out. I need to put lotion on my hands because guys, my hands are super cracked and dried, and it's because of all the hand washing, of course. Okay, so I purchased the shade 120 in the foundation. So here's the shade right here, 120. I actually researched and looked at other YouTube channels to see if I could find someone that was closest to my shade. So I did purchase the 120 shade. It's a frosted glass bottle, and then it has a pump. It also comes with 1 fluid ounce of product, which is normally the amount that comes in most foundations. And then I got the Meet Your Hue Full-Coverage Concealer. I bought this one in the shade number 12. So here's the shade right here. This is actually a plastic bottle, and it's a screw-off top with a really thick doe foot applicator. And then I purchased 2 of the sponges. So here is the sponge here in a sealed, it's in a sealed package. So that's what the sponge looks like. It reminds me of like a Hershey Kiss. That's it right there. So I've already got all my skincare and my SPF, and I'm going to go in with the Tatcha, the liquid silk canvas. I have been loving this primer for my entire face. I feel like with this primer, I don't have to use a pore primer, so I just actually put this all over. Feels so good on the skin. So today I'm going to go in with a brush, and I'm going to go in with their sponge. I am going to go in with the Sephora Pro Featherweight Complexion brush. I have been loving this brush for foundation, and then I'm going to go ahead and wet the sponge, come back, and then we'll put the foundation on. Alright, I wet the sponge, and as you can see, it did grow in size. It is super soft, guys. I mean, very pliable. So I'm going to use that on the right side, and then on the left side, I'm going to go in with the brush. Alright, so let me shake this up. I'm going to put about a pump on the back of my hand, and it looks pretty light because I self-tanned, but I think it's going to be okay. I think I can bronze it up and make it look like the tone of my neck, so I don't think it'll be a problem. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and dab this on my skin. And I actually used that whole pump for that side, which I shouldn't have done, but and then just go in with the sponge. Ooh, that gives really nice coverage. I realized that I put quite a bit on, but that is super nice coverage. I'm gonna leave this for the brush. Okay, I do like the way that it applied with the sponge. I think it gives really nice coverage. It's not full coverage just yet, but it still gave really nice coverage, like a medium full coverage. Really pretty. All right, let's go in with the brush. Now I am using a full pump for this side only because I used it for this side. I really don't feel like it's gonna look cakey or anything because Even using one full pump for this side, it looks beautiful, it looks seamless, doesn't look cakey, doesn't look like too much on my skin. So now I'm gonna go ahead and use the brush on this side. The brush side looks really nice too. Both sides look pretty much the same. I don't think the brush side gave a fuller coverage. I think both of them pretty much went on the same. I will say that I do like the soft look of this side. The brush side just looks a little more dewier, which isn't bad. It looks really pretty, but I do like the way the sponge applied this foundation. So because of that, I'm gonna go ahead and stick with the sponge. And I'm only gonna put half a pump on the back of my hand and just go into those areas where I need a little bit more coverage, and then go ahead and go back in with the sponge. Okay, so I went ahead and put another half pump on, and I think that half pump is gonna work perfectly. I do still see some of my hyperpigmentation, but I'm gonna go in with my Tarte Shape Tape, and I normally do that anyways. But I will say that if you don't have any hyperpigmentation, this could actually be a full coverage foundation for you guys. I'll also say that if you don't like a full coverage, you can also get a medium coverage by probably just using one pump for the entire face, or even 1.5 pumps. So I think it looks really good. It looks very seamless, very beautiful on the skin, and I think it blended in really well. It doesn't look cakey, it doesn't feel heavy on the skin, even though I put those 2.5 pumps in. So I want to go into the Dose of Colors website for you guys and just kind of read off just a little bit of information about this. I know that probably most of you have seen it already on YouTube. It's been out for a while, so I don't want to linger into all the description and all the details of this foundation, but I do want to give you just a little bit background of the foundation, just kind of some quick info about it. So it is vegan, cruelty-free, talc-free, paraben-free, oil-free, and fragrance-free. Also, it says here that it's a natural matte finish with medium to full buildable coverage, and it has a skin-like feel. It has 42 shades, which I think is phenomenal. I think that's where most foundation companies go wrong, is when they only provide like 6 to 12 shades. I really feel like there needs to be more, and Dose of Colors has done that with the 42 shades. So it says here 6 different complexion categories: fair, light, light medium, medium tan, dark, and deep, which I think is great. And then it also says that it delivers a blurring effect which reduces the appearance of lines and skin imperfections. So those are some good claims that this foundation has. So I don't see on the website where it says that it's like a long-lasting foundation, but we will see today. I put primer on, guys, because I normally do not wear a primer, if that makes sense. Did that make sense? I always wear a primer. Let me just put it that way. I always wear one, so I never really go into putting on my foundation without one. So I'm doing this demo for you as I would if I was to wear the foundation on a daily basis. So anyway, having said that, let's go into the concealer. Now, the concealer, like I said, has a really nice thick doe foot applicator. I will put on, because I normally do this, I have been doing this, I will put on my anti-fatigue under eye primer. I also switch from this to my Smashbox hydrating under eye primer, but today I'm going to use this one. And I'm just going to dab just a little bit, because a little bit goes a long way. While that's kind of just sinking in, I do want to go ahead and go on the website and talk to you guys about the concealer. So the Meet Your Hue Concealer is vegan, cruelty-free, talc-free, paraben-free. It has sunflower seed oil, shea butter, and natural vitamin E. It's a full coverage concealer with a lightweight, easy to blend formula. It conceals dark under eye circles, blemishes, and other skin imperfections. It's available in 30 shades and 6 different complexion categories, which is fair, light, light medium, medium tan, dark, and deep. And it also does not have anything in the description about whether it's long lasting or not. So let's go ahead and put the Meet Your Hue Concealer on my under eyes. So So I'm going to just stop. So I'm not sure where it stopped at. So I'm gonna just put a little bit under there. And then I'm gonna go in with the sponge. Now the concealer seems a little bit dark for me. I know on camera it probably doesn't look dark, but it does look a little bit dark, but the color itself has like a little peach undertone. So that's gonna conceal my dark circles, which I like. So I'm gonna go ahead and blend this. Ooh, that looks really pretty. Okay, I am gonna put a little bit more because I like a little bit more coverage. And by blending out the concealer, I can see that the shade is good for me. So I'm just gonna go in with just a little bit more like that. Doesn't seem like it's a super full coverage concealer like it says it is, but it still looks really beautiful under the eyes. And if you add a little more, you can get that full coverage. Okay guys, so that blended in really nicely. It looks very smooth under the eyes. Doesn't look like it's creasing at all. Yeah, it looks really, really pretty. And like I said, I think the shade looks really good now that it's blended out. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and finish off the rest of my makeup. Then I'll come back and we'll talk a little bit more about this product. All right guys, I finished my makeup. I will tell you guys that I did set the foundation with the Chanel powder. I also put the Undone light powder just on the center. And then for the under eyes, I did put my Morphe Brightening pink powder to set that concealer. Now let me just say this. I didn't actually tell you guys what time I actually applied the foundation, and it was at 10:30 a.m. So I wanted to get that out there because this is an all-day wear test. I wanted to let you guys know that I did apply it in the morning at 10:30. All right. So the next thing, I don't even know if I mentioned the name of the foundation. I feel really stupid right now because I forgot to mention that it's the Meet Your Hue Dose of Colors Foundation. If I did mention it, then I'll have to forgive myself, but I don't think that I mentioned it. So it is the Meet Your Hue Dose of Colors Foundation and Concealer. As far as the price, I'm gonna look on the website because I told you guys that I paid half. So as far as the price, the concealer is $24 and I paid $12 for the concealer during that sale. And as far as the foundation is $36 and I paid $18 during the sale. And I actually did get the sponge on sale as well. It was half off of $15. So I got all the products 50% off, which I was really excited about. Right now they don't have a sale going on, but if you go on for your first time, I think they give you 20% off the price if you're interested in buying any of these products. So yeah, let me talk about the sponge first and then I'll get into the other product. And I will say that I really, really love this sponge. It almost reminds me of my Wet n Wild sponge. My Wet n Wild sponge feels just like this. It's pliable, it's very easy to use, it doesn't soak up a lot of product. I just feel like it made that foundation go on so seamlessly. So yeah, I really like this, and I would say that a dupe for this would be the Wet n Wild sponge. I think that is one of the best sponges out there at the drugstore. So I really like the sponge, and I think for the 50% off, it was a great buy. Now for the foundation. So the foundation itself went on really nicely, doesn't feel heavy, looks really good upon application. Now it does mention on the website that it's a natural matte finish. And I would not say that it is a natural matte finish. I would say it's more of a satin finish. And the reason I say that is because it did have a slight glow to it. It didn't look really matte on my skin, nor did it look like naturally matte to me. So as far as that, I don't think that it's a matte product. I think it's more of in that satin range, but it went on beautifully, looked really good on the skin, sunk into the skin really, really well, blended well. This is the perfect shade for me. I think even with my self-tan, it looks really nice. So after having it on for about an hour, I don't really see like any creases in my skin. I don't see any breaking up. I think that everything just set so well and beautifully. Putting on the Chanel powder, it didn't move, it didn't break up. It just looks really nice on the skin. So I really love the outcome of the way the foundation looks. Now for the concealer, I love the way the concealer went on. I will say that it's not a full coverage to me. It is a buildable concealer, so you can build it up to full coverage, but initially putting it on, it's not full at all. After I put the concealer on, I did not go directly in with powder. I actually did my eyes first, and then I went in with the Morphe powder. And I will tell you that it creased just a little bit right here on this fine line, but very, very little. I mean, I was really impressed because it sat there without powder for a while. So honestly, I think you could wear this without setting it if you don't like to set your concealer. But yeah, it went on really nice, and it's such a beautiful concealer. Just goes on really smoothly. It is lightweight. It doesn't feel like heavy under the eyes or look really thick or cakey. I think everything turned out really nicely. I'm excited to see how the foundation and concealer are gonna work throughout the day. I'm gonna try to wear this as long as possible. And of course, I'm not really going anywhere today, but I might go walk the dogs, if anything. Anyway, we will see you guys in a bit. Bye. Hey guys, this is my first check-in. It's 3 minutes after 3, and I've had the foundation on for 4.5 hours. So I've only had it on half the time that I'm going to wear it today, and I really haven't looked at myself today in the mirror, so I'm going to get my mirror and then look at my skin to see how this foundation is working out. I don't see any creasing here. I do see just a tad bit of oiliness right here on the sides of my nose, but nothing too serious. I do love the way my makeup is sitting on my skin right now. I think, oh, I've got this hair right here. I think everything has held up really well after the 4.5 hours that I've had it on. Like I said, I don't see a lot of creasing. I don't see creasing in my forehead, where normally I'll get some creasing here. And it just looks really good. Now, I will say this. I didn't tell you guys, but it did transfer on my collar here. So it doesn't claim that it's transfer proof, but just to let you know, it will transfer onto clothing. So I did want to mention that. I did want to mention that it is not transfer proof, but like I said, it doesn't claim to be transfer proof at all. Another thing that I mentioned earlier is that it doesn't say how long it's going to last. So today I'm testing the longevity of this foundation, and in 4.5 hours, it looks really good. I haven't gotten really oily. Everything looks very seamless, very nice. Everything's held up, the blush, you know, the bronzer, the powder, nothing looks cakey. So far so good. I did put some lipstick on just now, guys. So if you see how my lips look different, I added some lipstick because I just had lunch. And so, yes, it's a late lunch, but anyway, the last thing I want to mention before I leave you guys and then come back for another check-in, I did want to mention that it just looks like I'm very well put together, and it just looks really glam. I love that. I'm all for a glam looking foundation, and I think that's what this is. I think maybe if you do go in with like one pump for your whole face, it might look skin-like, but for me, I need a little bit more foundation, so it's never gonna really look skin-like on me. It's gonna look like I have makeup on. And it may be because I put 2.5 pumps on. I'll probably try it again with just like 1.5 pumps or just 2 pumps, but for today, I did put the 2.5 pumps on, and I'm very pleased with the way the makeup came out. But anyway, enough of that. I am gonna let you guys go now, and I will be back hopefully in the next 4.5 hours, and then just kind of give you a rundown of how I feel about the foundation, because I am trying to test this out for 9 hours straight. So I'll see you guys in the next check-in. Bye. I'm gonna do my last check-in for the day. It is now 7:35. Now I don't have my iPhone because I'm backing it up right now. So I'm gonna show you on this swatch that it is 7:35. You see it? I wanted to do that so you guys know it was legit 7:35. So I just want to give you my final thoughts on this foundation. I looked at the foundation earlier, and I looked at it just now, and I have to say this is such a beautiful foundation for my skin. I think it looks absolutely flawless. I do see a little bit of shininess on my forehead, but it's not oily. I don't know if that's just because of the lighting, but it's not oily. Like I said earlier, I did have a little bit of oil seeping through on the sides of my nose, but it was very minimal, and it hasn't progressed since that last check-in. So everything looks very well put together. The foundation looks super soft on the skin, super seamless. There are no creases around my mouth, around my forehead. Everything just looks really nice. And I have to say that Even though they didn't state that this foundation was a long wearing foundation, I would have to say that it is. I have worn this for 9 hours and I feel like I could wear it for another maybe 2 to 3 hours. So yeah, they didn't claim that, but I am telling you that it will last, especially with a good primer. Now I want to mention that I am oily in my T-zone and then normal on the perimeters of my skin. I would say that oily skin individuals could probably wear this. I would just say put a really good primer on. And I also think dry skin individuals could also wear this because like I said earlier, it is not a full matte foundation. To me, it's more like a satin foundation. So having said all that, I think that this foundation is an A+ for me. I'm going to continue to use it because I love it that much. So I'm especially gonna love it for those days when I can get glammed up. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already, and we will talk to you on the next one. Bye.